This is the last episode.
I forgot to tell you not to do any of that stuff.
Why?
And then I saw you moving towards the mic.
Not
and I was
allowed
like,
to?
No,
It's my podcast.
because you've done it too many times in a row, and we finally broke it.
Oh, you thought I was gonna not do a thing?
Yeah, I thought we broke this not in joke.
Too bad.
And then I just saw you approaching the mic very
Bro, we're
slowly.
98 episodes in. You think I'm gonna stop?
Yes,
Oh.
because I thought you'd forget at some point.
Oh, no, baby, no. I don't forget to be dumb.
Okay, quick thing.
Yes.
This is kind of related to a topic we're going to talk about later.
Okay.
But I just
I'm
found
way
out.
too close to the mic.
I just found out that Disney XD. You know how Disney owns Polaris?
Sure.
Well, they own Polaris.
Okay.
That big group of YouTube gaming people.
Okay, yeah, I know about. Oh yeah, you know about the new.
And they have a block on Disney.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about Evo in a bit later. But
Yeah.
I watched Smash on Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that block?
All right, so
that is the worst thing I've seen all year.
So there's a new.
And counting the Candy Crush TV show.
There's a new show coming out on Disney XD.
It's already out. It's airing. All that stuff is airing.
Okay,
now.
so
and Steve Zaragoza's on it.
I was gonna say,
what
Parker,
are you doing
what is it,
here?
Parker plays?
Parker has his own TV show,
which is crazy because Parker is part of the Sugar Pine 7 crew.
Yeah, but he's always had like a channel for like younger people.
But he's part of the.
That's what they make fun of for his Disney money.
I didn't know him before.
But I don't know Steve. I'm like, Steve, baby boy.
I'm so happy.
How did you end up here?
Look.
No, because I didn't know that was a thing.
I knew that that Parker was on a Disney thing because I remember them talking about it in one of the
a long time,
Steven Subsick episodes. But then
they make fun of him for like you can't be, you're not cool anymore because you're on Disney now.
Yeah. But then I was like, I don't know, is he on Disney now? And then this comes out, the trailer came out, and I was like, oh
yeah,
it's YouTube Red, but on TV,
but censored. But they still swear. But it's
just kid friendly swearing.
No, they just don't have it in. Like they just take out the audio. Because
that's stupid.
Because I was forced to watch some of it because the way tournament
at point of gun,
pretty much. Because I was like, I didn't want to bring my laptop out. I watched the Smash tournament, a little bit of it because I was like, fuck it, there's nothing else going on right now.
Yeah.
And in between sets, they would show like filler, like every stream for tournaments has filler. But for the Disney version of it, because it was airing on Twitch, airing on ESPN2, and airing on Disney XD's their block for gaming, and they would show some of their content. And it was just like, it was extra edited episodes of their YouTube shows.
That's so weird.
Like it was over edited. Like they had Jacksepticeye and other people on there. And it was just bits of their episodes that they already had on YouTube channels, but edited more with more sound effects and more cuts and weird music transitions.
Like they're doing the opposite thing of what I feel like TV should be doing. Instead of bringing YouTube to TV, bring TV to YouTube.
And that's the thing I thought about. I was like, wait, Jacksepticeye, big YouTube boy, he swears. How are they going to take care of this?
Like a good amount.
And they just like take out the audio whenever he swears.
Yeah.
And they cover his mouth with a controller of generic design.
There's a dead boy leaving this room right now.
Yeah.
Bye, dead boy.
Why don't you guys do level tests? I think you guys just jumped right in.
No, man, I did level tests.
You did?
Yeah.
He's good at them now.
Yeah. All right.
And it's just it's so bizarre watching a YouTube gamer man scream on national TV.
That is very weird.
But all those, like a good chunk of those people that they were advertising for, like we're doing the Polaris stuff on Disney XD at night. I think it's called Disney XP or something. It's Disney X something. So,
I really hope it's Disney XP because that actually wouldn't be bad.
It's not terrible, but
that's actually not a bad name.
But a lot of these people,
I don't think it's that good.
A lot of people that I see that are going to be on these programs, not all of them make content for like kids.
Most of them probably don't.
But the general block, because it airs from 9 p.m. in the nighttime to like I think 3 in the morning. It's for general audiences.
Interesting.
And I was wondering, well, why don't you just make it like into like a kind of an Adult Swim Teen Nick kind of vibe?
Yeah.
Or to like make it like TV 14 at the very least.
Yeah. It's Disney. That's why they can't.
But it's like. And then I was like, okay.
The thing is, Disney XD is more for like the 13, 14-year-olds.
Yeah, but they're already watching YouTube on the
exactly.
If they're at home at 9 p.m. after soccer practice or whatever the fuck kids do nowadays,
right?
They're just on their tablets or their laptops or their consoles or their computers watching that shit anyways.
Yeah.
So why put a weird version of it on TV?
Well, that's why I was saying
I don't get it.
They're doing the opposite of what they should be doing, in my opinion. I think TV is dead. They should be moving to YouTube.
Well,
There's no reason to be.
cable television is dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like digital and like stuff that's made for digital services is totally doing.
It's
going
that's why
great.
just work on only that.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have mind.
Like Netflix is giving people big budgets now.
Like think
like,
how
big
interesting
budgets.
this would have been. Disney XD makes a YouTube channel for Disney gaming, and there's just a bunch. They just get a bunch of YouTubers to
Because
upload.
they talked about that years ago. I thought that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, that would have been.
Which makes sense. People would have watched that.
I might have watched that. Who knows? It might have been
that's
good.
what Polaris' channel was doing years ago.
Yeah,
But I don't watch Polaris' people, so I never checked back on it.
man, I bet Disney's kicking themselves in the butt for like getting PewDiePie off of Maker.
Well, now that they're putting them on TV, I'm pretty sure they're happier. Because TV. Jacksepticeye is ad friendly for TV. Because
Yeah,
people putting on that are very safe people.
and this is why I don't like
Except
the TV.
for Steve.
And this is a great example.
And Steve shows his dick to people.
He literally does.
That's why I'm like, how did he end up? How did
you know why?
how
you know
did
what?
he
Steve
smooth
is-
talk his way onto
Steve,
this show
Steve is
when he is
a
a man known for making very offensive jokes?
Not even
and
the-
appearing naked.
It's more than offensive jokes. He's a walking offensive person.
He's a wild card.
He's a wild card.
He's the reason. He's the only guy in SourceFed except for the other Steve that I'm like, I want to know what you do
yeah,
because you're interesting to me.
yeah. He used to work for Sony.
You worked for a lot of people.
He used to do
that he can't talk
he used to
about.
do sound like editing for Sony.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Steve,
Like I haven't seen what he's like because it's like what he's on is like a variety show kind of deal.
Mhm.
But I saw his face. I was like, hey
Yeah.
Steve,
I think we saw the same trailer.
what you doing?
Yeah.
But I don't know like what he does or how like his comedy is on that version of it.
Yeah. Well,
It's just
Steve
surreal.
Steve is a really really big Disney kind of like me. Like I relate to Steve's Disney fanboy like wholly. Like
Okay.
I like Disney probably as much as he does.
Mhm.
So like imagine yeah, sure, I probably wouldn't be a good TV friendly person.
Yeah.
And well, I could do it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I think
still
you could
love,
do it for like a day and then go, man, I can't fucking do
Yeah,
this
yeah.
anymore.
But I'd
You
still-
would crack really like, I can't do this bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. I would make one race joke and I'm out.
No, you would make you'd make a joke that isn't even offensive to anybody, and he's like, no, you can't do it because Disney says the X and Y.
Yeah. Well, I would probably like be playing a video game and like see a shadow and be like, oh look, a black guy's following me. Like that's
Yeah.
probably what I would say. And like,
Yeah.
oh, you're out.
Oh, I hit a black man.
I hit a black man.
Yeah,
and
then
I'm
it'd
out.
be over. You're
Yeah,
out.
because it's not even that I curse because I don't really curse that much. I don't curse on the internet.
You don't scream at the scary, spooky ghost
I
in the
don't
video
scream
game.
at the scary spooky skeleton.
Oh,
What's
no.
going on with that song going on everywhere anytime a skeleton's mentioned? By the way.
It's a very, very old internet thing.
Yeah, but it's coming. It's getting a
Because Halloween. Every Halloween it comes back.
Oh yeah, Halloween, the thing that's like 4 months away.
People like that joke of like Halloween is far away. Fuck it, Halloween is now is also like a 3-year-old joke.
Yeah, all right, got it. They're just mixing a bunch of old memes
See,
together.
I don't even get it anymore. I follow this shit on the daily.
So hilarious.
Like, I don't even have a Snapchat. I'm a fan of that hot dog boy.
Me too.
I don't know.
I have Snapchat. I haven't used them really, but
I don't have Snapchat, so I haven't seen too much of him.
yeah,
I love that hot dog boy.
he really is great.
The best one is the one.
It's by the way,
they're
it's
doing Duel of Fates. And he hits a lightsaber and he goes flying away.
That's so good, dude. Okay,
also,
look, this is
also that meme shows wow, Snapchat's alternate reality shit is really good.
it is.
Like that shit's crazy good.
Well, it's good.
It stays in place on people's shitty like Samsung phones.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. Like the hot dog thing is just
It's just
it just shows that
a smiley boy listening to
Snapchat
good
they're
tunes.
trying to make memes and they're actually doing a good job.
Yeah,
at
I
it.
think this one was a total fluke.
No,
Was this one not a fluke?
no,
Or did
dude,
they push
this
it?
was totally planned.
They pushed it. Okay.
It's not that it was pushed. It was just like, hey, let's make a meme.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's just make a meme
Well,
and then see what happens.
It's a weird thing where
And-
Snapchat's done memes like on accident before.
yeah, they've done it on
Their
accident. But
filters themselves are jokes. Like
Mhm.
the dog one is an Ouroboros where people liked using it, and then it
Mhm.
became a meme to make fun of it, and then people liked it enough to use it, and then it became cool to hate on it.
yeah,
And it's a circle forever until Snapchat dies.
yes,
I see
that's what
all
the
of those stages every day.
yes.
It's weird.
But the hot dog one started out.
like the-
Oh, this is hilarious.
like the deer one didn't take off as much
No.
because it was a seasonal thing, and
Yeah.
people didn't. The dog one is just
The dog one is just a classic example of culture and how it moves.
yeah.
Because it starts out with like, oh, there's the young person, millennial generation trying to make themselves all like
and then
selfies.
old people made fun of it.
And then the generation
then
of,
young people
of
made
shit
fun of it.
posters that like
Yeah.
yeah, just like it's a perfect
and then people
perfect
put it on like
example
inanimate
of
objects
that.
because the filter was broken at the time,
Uh-huh.
and you can still do it now because they left that in.
Mhm.
It's fucking weird.
It's so weird.
But I love my hot dog man.
So back to the Disney XD thing.
I love that hot dog man on Disney XD.
yes,
Whatever that gaming thing is. Has his own show.
I don't know how well this is gonna do.
I'm curious about that as well because I want to see the numbers.
So
that
the
they have
demo
for Mevo.
is 13 to 15 year olds. Like that's
it
just,
has to be.
That's
It
just
has to
that's
be.
what Disney XD has been since the start.
Yeah, that's why the anime shows they have on there are like for more of a teen audience.
Yeah, it's
like Star Versus and Wonder Over Yonder. The Tron show, the Hotel Transylvania show.
Yeah, all that stuff. So
Like
but that's
the
like
tween to teen audience.
yeah,
young
that's
teen
the
audience.
perfect age group right now that watch YouTube.
Yeah, that's all
Like
they do.
all the time.
That's what we did.
That's what I still do.
Yeah,
But
well, that's what we do. When we were doing it, that was kind of the new thing.
Yes, we were the ones
Waking up at 6 a.m. and watching your YouTuber shit was not the standard at the time.
No, we were the
we
kinda
just started
first.
doing that.
Yes, like once. Man, imagine if YouTube had notifications back then.
Fuck.
Right?
Fuck.
Because I usually
Do you remember having chats in channel comments?
I still do that.
Do you remember? No. Do you know the channel itself had a comment
Oh
section?
my god, I remember
You
when they
remember
added
that?
that. That was like 4 years ago.
I used to use that as a chat room.
What?
Because
I've
channels
never
that got
used
big
it.
enough, the comments would be fast. Like, you can just talk to people in the channel comments.
Yeah,
Because fuck.
that's crazy.
You remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember when they
That was
added it.
That was it. Yeah, and then they removed it because of the spam.
Because I remember. Do you remember when they like changed the YouTube thing to where it's like, oh, you can customize the layout of
Yeah,
your YouTube
that was
channel?
the best.
That was
the
so
best
bad.
shit.
And then everyone would just put the like iPhone wallpaper and just duplicate it a million times.
Yeah,
And it looked like old MySpace.
It looked
profile.
MySpace people actually knew how to use
Yeah,
fucking
MySpace
HTML.
were better actually, which is hilarious.
Because people could like get pre-made ones. People YouTubers like you just fucking put a thing,
Just put a picture there
It
and
looks-
hope it looks good.
and then they got rid of it, and then everyone was really mad. That was me. I was very mad at that.
But it's funny how people were mad when they got rid of it when they were mad that they added it.
Yeah.
That to me was another example of just like,
That's
yeah,
just
no
good-
one
no
knows
one
what they
likes
want.
anything.
No one wants
No.
anything.
On the internet, nobody knows what the fuck they want.
Yeah, it was a perfect.
The only one that I can think of was like universal, like people don't like this change was the Gmail shit.
Oh, when they
With
force
Gmail
you
to do comments, that was the worst.
Yes.
Nobody liked that
It
shit.
was Google Plus.
Well,
When they
but
pushed
but
the
you pretty
Google
much
Plus.
got that anyways with it.
Yeah.
So it's like no one liked that shit.
Nope, that was the worst.
It's still a problem. But whatever.
What's your opinion on changing from the 5-star to the like and dislike?
Don't like it.
You rather have 5
I'd rather
stars?
stars.
Yeah, me
I like
too.
I know, even though I know the average people go like it's usually 4 or 5 or 1 and 2 or 1.
Yeah, or no, I think the average is.
Well, back in the day, that's what they
Oh
argued
yeah, I
that
see
it
what
was.
you mean. Yeah. There was no 2
They
or
said
3.
people always do either 5 or 1 star.
Yeah,
Even though that was not true.
Yeah.
But whatever.
yeah.
I'd rather the stars rather than the up and down.
Yeah.
But whatever. Nowadays, that's not, up and down doesn't mean like the next doesn't mean shit. It just means means you have good channel interaction. You get more ad revenue.
All it is
that doesn't
is,
mean shit no more.
All it is how many people have. It's how many people have liked it. It doesn't mean how many people actually like the comment or whatever or
the video. It's just
how many people
interaction.
have. Yeah. That like Reddit's a perfect example of it. Like upvotes don't necessarily say the quality of the content.
They
It
give
just
you
says,
dick measuring points.
That's all it is. And then Reddit Gold to like give you money for that. Dick
Which is the
measuring.
dumbest shit.
I love Reddit Gold.
It's the meme that I thought went away and it never did.
Yeah, it's
Because
great.
this idea is too stupid.
Yeah.
You said an idea that people like, let's give you money for it. That's like the actual apocalypse to me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to a topic, I guess, that we've written.
The most
down.
important topic for Jew.
Okay, the most important topic for Jews are Doctor Who.
Actually, kind of. They're European.
Are they?
Yeah, they're from Europe somewhere.
Somewhere in Europe, I think.
They exist in there.
Sure.
There are Jewish people like Doctor Who. That is a fact.
That is definitely a fact. So, Doctor Who is...
Has he ever had an accent like that?
you can argue that...
I'd watch if that was.
You can
the
argue
Doctor
that,
had that.
You can argue that Capaldi has that because he has a Scottish accent.
Is it? It's not that strong. Though,
It's not
right?
that strong,
Yeah.
though. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's like... But it's not like... He doesn't wear a kilt. You know what I mean? Like, but
I kind of want a season to be as bad as like the fucking doctor that had like the big hat and the cloak that was really shitty looking from the 60s.
all of them.
Like the first, like those dumb outfits. I want them to go back to
Like,
that.
are you talking about like what the fifth Doctor had a cane?
Yeah, like
The
that
fifth Doctor, or
like
no,
that
the
kind of
fifth
like.
or, I can't remember the fifth or sixth Doctor had a cane, it was an umbrella, and the handle was a question mark.
I want that kind of goofy shit. I
Like
want that. I want that to
I
come back.
miss that kind of goofy.
I like camp. I like campy shit.
Well, that's why I like Doctor Who. And okay, so bring me up to my whole thing with Doctor Who. Okay, so right now,
It's just the series. The current Doctor ended. How did you feel about the
well,
finale?
there's one. I'm not up to date.
You're not
I still
on
have
purpose or on accident.
purpose at first, accident now. 'Cause
Okay.
Now I have no excuse not to finish it at this point,
Mhm.
but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Haven't because I have other things I'm watching to try to catch up. And stuff. I guess I tried to rewatch all of Game of Thrones, and
Because the season comes out.
it came out already. It came out yesterday.
last night.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it was. By the way,
Because it was people
I'll
last
talk-
night.
I'll talk
People last
about
night.
that.
It was like I'm watching Evo, I'm watching Game of Thrones, or I'm watching Lakers. That's
Yeah.
all I saw in the chats last night.
yeah. So I'll talk about Game of Thrones a little bit later if I remember. So the Doctor Who thing. Okay, so Yeah, Peter Capaldi has one episode left.
Which is the Christmas thing,
It's Christmas
right?
special, and in that episode, we will change to the new Doctor, who is Jodie Whittaker. Will be the first ever female Doctor. Doctor has been around since 1963, over 50 years old. What is it? 50?
God, I forget it really is that old.
It's 50. What is that? 54 years old now.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like super.
It is half a century.
It's the longest running TV show of all time.
Yeah, that is not like a soap opera.
That's not a soap opera. Yeah, it's the longest.
Soap operas are like a weird other thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like this is the longest I think this is the longest like canonical, because everything in Doctor Who is canon.
Yeah,
like,
it's all connected. Even all the iTunes podcast stuff that they upload. Oh, really?
All those like weird books, like side stuff. Those are all canon. It's all BBC. Yeah,
they did the good thing that Star Wars should have done.
Yeah,
and kept it that way.
And that's why Doctor Who is kind of cool,
because it doesn't hurt anybody.
No, it doesn't.
It just makes the super fans happy,
it's
which is the people who buy all your shit.
And I'm not a super fan. I have a Doctor Who cup right here. I consider myself a Whovian, but I don't read the books.
You call yourself that? You're a super fan.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, sure.
That's compared to most people who've watched it. You are what people consider a super fan.
Yeah,
you are a hardcore fan.
Yes, I like Doctor Who a lot.
You talk about it on a podcast. You like Doctor Who a whole lot.
Yes,
we forget all the time because we're in this shit every day.
Yeah,
you forget how casual people are compared to the people who are really into this shit.
This is why I like Chris Hardwick's definition of what a nerd is. It's not what you like; it's how you like it.
It's how you like it.
Yeah, that's why I like if you know everything about sports
fans are just nerds.
Yeah.
They're just nerds.
Yeah. Like I remember when
people who remember averages of like people's batting averages from like 1972. No, you're a nerd.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
I remember when Bill Burr was on The Nerdist for the first time, I think, and Chris called him a nerd.
Which is a very cursed topic to think of.
Yeah, right. But
Bill Burr on Nerdist.
Yeah, so when
that doesn't make any sense.
When Chris Hardwick called Bill a nerd, and Bill was like, "What? How dare you?" And he's like, "No, I don't mean that in a bad way. You know everything about sports. Like,
yeah, that's your thing. That's a sports nerd.
Yeah, sports nerd." All right. So, anyways, Doctor Who. So, first ever female Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. She is I don't know her. I've never seen her in anything, but I do know that she was in Broadchurch. She's in Broadchurch.
What is Broadchurch?
It's another British show.
Another BBC show?
Yeah.
So she's got some acting chops.
Yeah. So it's a popular one. It's done well. Mm-hmm. So obviously, every time they choose a Doctor, they know what they're doing for the most part. Like
it has to be a very process.
I've never hated an actor. Like I've never been like, that's a mistake.
Has there ever been like a Doctor that people universally like did not like as much? Like not hate, but just did not like. That was unpopular.
No.
Really?
I don't think so, because they really try hard to make sure the actor is good and the writer's good. That's all it is. It's a writer and actor. And what's nice about the show is that it allows so much variation in how the Doctor can act.
It gives itself space.
It gives itself so much room. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, let's get super wacky. Oh, we'll get super, super serious. Yeah. Or we kind of go in the middle or between or whatever. Like
the
Peter
last
Capaldi
one was an older, angry dude.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor. He's the term in Doctor Who. If you guys don't know, like, who's your Doctor? Who's like my Doctor is the 12th Doctor. He's pretty much saying who your favorite.
Yeah,
but my Doctor is the 12th Doctor. He is to me he's the culmination of Doctor Who as a show of just like, this is really old. And it's kind of getting a little tiring sometimes. Yeah. And things are wacky. And sometimes things are serious. But it's just, I'm kind of getting tired of it. And that's what Peter Capaldi was. He was like, I'm old. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm just going to say what I think.
It was kind of like a cool meta way of like breaking up the routine of the show.
Yeah, it was a meta way of breaking up the routine by explaining that there's a routine.
Yeah.
Which
is cool.
It's super genius.
After 50 years, it's kind of in need of something like that.
It's actually
being somewhat self-aware.
Yeah, I consider that actually genius. Like, that's amazing. It's amazing that they pulled that off. Yeah. And they did it in a way that's not so in your face. It's like, look at me, I'm old. It's just like, no, he just acts the way he acts.
An older person would act. Yeah. In this position.
And how if the Doctor was over 2,000 years old would act. Like that's what it is. And so Capaldi was awesome. And now, so for a while now, people have been saying, hey, let's get a female Doctor. Yeah. Canonically speaking, okay, people are forgetting this or just don't know this. Canonically speaking, Time Lords can regenerate into females. It's happened before. Matt Smith the Matt Smith character talked about how he saw a Time Lord friend regenerate into a woman, and he's like,
I still love the term Time Lord, by the way.
Time Lord?
It's so dramatic for what it is. It's very Japanese.
Yeah.
Time Lord.
Doctor Who has a lot of weird, over-the-top Japanese feely things. Yeah. Kind of like
the language is just too strong for what it is, and I live for that shit.
And they take it so seriously
in universe.
In universe, and it's just like, all right, Time Lords, sure, why not? It's like, cool. So canonically speaking, Time Lords can turn into female, like male Time Lords can regenerate to females. Females can turn male. This happened already.
Just not with a doctor.
The Master. It's happened with the Master. So the Master.
Yeah, didn't it happen last. Was it the last season?
2 seasons. Well, Peter Capaldi's Master.
Yeah.
So,
and people were happy with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. So in Doctor Who, I think it was introduced with the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, who's considered one of the best doctors of all time. There is a character that they introduced called the Master, because the idea was that there's only
because Doctor Who up until that point, from what I understand, was kind of like a adventure of the week kind of thing.
Yes, it was. Before
there's never like a true villain.
Yeah, before the fourth Doctor, the way Doctor Who worked was there were 5 episode arcs, and each episode was 20 minutes long,
and it covered a topic.
And an episode one of the first ones is go to the Aztec Empire, and for 5 episodes they're just at the Aztec Empire, and then the next is now we're in space. Oh, now we're this. Now we're this. Yeah. That's how Doctor Who was for a very long time, and then they added the fourth Doctor, and things started getting more canonical feeling, a
more linear story.
There were still arcs. There were still 3 to 5 episode arcs, but not always. I think there were, they introduced one-off episodes. I don't remember. I don't know I don't know classic Who that
There's a
well.
lot of Doctor Who.
There's so much.
No one's gonna yell at you for that.
Don't yell at me for
unless you're 7 years old and been watching it that long.
Don't yell at me for getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm somewhat right here in that with the fourth Doctor they started adding villains and rivals. Yeah. So real that person is your villain. And the biggest one was the Master.
Yeah.
And the Master is supposed to be a Time Lord who's just as smart, just as cunning as the Doctor. Pretty much just the classic rival. The rival is just the bad version of the main character.
Yeah.
And he's also a Time Lord, so he dies and regenerates a new person, and that's happened a couple times. But with Peter Capaldi, they added the Master regenerating into a woman, and they named, instead of Master, it was Mistress, so they named her Missy,
which is cool.
Yeah, it was
it's a cool little twist on it.
That's a cool twist, and
clever, it was not too in your face,
and it was awesome. And it's funny because the Master that was introduced with David Tennant was kind of, I can't remember the actor's name, but there was a weird sexual tension between the two. It was a weird
a flirtatious kind of feel.
And they're both guys, and it was a weird flirtatious thing, and it always felt kind of fun and weird, and just it was a neat take. It was a neat twist. And then once they changed from him to the female, that flirtation was still there, and it almost felt weirder because this Doctor was older, and it was just this person's flirting with me, and it's it was a different type of thing.
It was a different vibe.
The point is that they were able to add in the female character Doctor, or female character Time Lord into the mix without it being too in your face. Look at me, we got a woman.
Yeah.
That being said,
so when that was announced, when that happened, was it the discussion that's happening now? With
not
the
at
current
all.
Doctor?
What it was finally we have a female Time Lord,
which is what I thought we would get for the new Doctor.
That's what I thought we were getting. Okay, before I get onto the new Doctor thing, I still have some because I've been thinking about this a lot, and because the internet's straight up cancer right now, as it tends to do.
When anything big happens.
This is a huge thing. This is a huge thing that's happened.
It's culture. It's a big piece of culture.
It's a huge culture thing, yeah. So Doctor Who has always been a super, super lefty show. And I'm bringing somewhat politics into this because Doctor Who brings politics into their show. That's just what they do.
Oh, yeah.
They're known to do this. They're known to be super liberal, super progressive.
Kind of like what Star Trek used to do.
Which
is why I'm not a fan of the new direction they're taking the TV show.
Yeah.
But they're making it more action focused. When
it used to be about diplomacy.
Well, it was about a weird okay, what if a perfect civilization existed? What problems happen after that?
Yeah.
So exactly. You get
the idea is everyone has universal income. Now what?
So what happens?
Yeah.
And things get weird.
Things get weird.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. But with Doctor Who, it's not that. It's more of just let's tackle the issue of race, but instead of race, we'll use aliens.
Yeah.
Classic sci-fi thing.
Which is the most sci-fi thing.
It's the most sci-fi thing.
Are you going to talk about slavery? Bring up androids.
Exactly.
That's literally what androids were designed for, to talk about slavery.
That's what it is.
That's what they are 1-to-1.
Yes, that's what it is.
So if you don't have that, you're not using androids correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of don't know how to write sci-fi.
One of the big thing is that they add in, they've recently with the newest, since 2005 Doctor, the modern Who. There's classic Who pre-2005, and then there's modern Who.
Yeah.
So modern Who, with the ninth Doctor, they added in a gay character, or a pan pan character, Jack Harkness, which is supposed to pretty much be Captain Kirk.
Which I know Jack because Jack is super popular.
Jack Harkness?
Yeah, out of culture, I just know that name.
Yeah, he's really... he was
really
the
like
icon of Tumblr at the time.
Yeah, nowadays people still talk about Jack as like a well-written character.
Now, but I'm saying even at the time when Tumblr was starting to be a thing and Doctor Who
when
came out...
Whovians were they went to the internet to talk more.
Yes, that's what Tumblr like almost was. It was just like, all right.
Well, it got a lot of people into Doctor Who because they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
That's
the internet helped Doctor Who kind of like come back in America big time.
Oh, for sure. It's the reason why it's popular in America.
Yeah, when
like,
BBC America is like a good channel.
Yeah.
Well, it's a successful
also,
channel.
But before that, I think it's still okay. So, anyways, Jack Harkness was the first he's technically a companion. I consider him a companion, although he didn't like stick around for that long. But he did have his own sideshow called Torchwood.
Oh, that's what Torchwood is.
Torchwood is an anagram for Doctor Who, by the way.
That's kind of clever.
Very clever. And the idea is like Captain Jack Harkness has a crew, and they're kind of detectives, and they just kind of solve alien stuff,
doing their own shit.
Yeah, it's super weird. I've seen a couple episodes.
Is it more comedic or more serious?
A little bit more serious.
Is it serious like X-Files when it gets serious?
It feels a little X-Files-y.
Because I like me some X-Files.
I don't like X-Files. That's probably why I didn't like Torchwood. I don't like X-Files.
Because I like me some X-Files.
So,
even when it gets goofy, which
you'll probably check out Torchwood. You probably like it.
Yeah.
But Captain Dark Harness, Pan, awesome character. And they did the Pan thing. No, but it's awesome because they did the Pan thing in the best way possible. The way I personally wish more media did LGBT characters or whatever character, black woman, whatever. It's just, that just happens to be a character trait. Yeah. You almost forget that Captain Jack Harkness is Pan until you see him having sex with a boy alien. And then it's like, oh, got it, I forgot. Yeah. Because who cares? That's how I feel personally. I think that's how it should be. And then they started adding in more gay characters and doing the same thing of just like, that just happens to be a character trait. This past season, we've had the addition of Pearl Mackie. Bill is the character in the show. She's black, but she's the first real official companion who's gay. This is the
canon of the show.
Well, the prominent doctor and companion,
like the Robin to
the first Robin who's gay, pretty much. And that's what it was, and that was cool. And it started. I talked about this on the podcast. It started out.
We talked about it for sure.
Well, it started out where it was kind of cool how same thing didn't really throw it in your face. As I'm watching the show, and like I said, I still haven't finished the season, so I can't. But what I've seen so far, it feels like they're starting to kind of push it in your face a little bit more. They're doing more jokes. They're doing a lot more jokes than I've seen before of them. Like, oh yeah, well I'm gay, so blah blah blah. Just like a guy hits on you. It's like, oh, I don't swing that way. It's like, but and they kind of make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like
that gets old though.
It gets old, and it's just like. You're starting to get into territory that I don't like. Yeah. Not the fact that you're gay.
It feels like kind of more lazy.
Exactly.
Which
it was more.
I don't get. I don't get that vibe from Doctor Who.
I don't get lazy from Doctor Who. It's you almost never lazy, and that's why with Pearl Mackie's character, it started entering the lazy character. Not completely, but it started to.
Lazy, at least in terms of the jokes.
Right. So I have to say all this to preface the current state of Doctor Who as of before this announcement. All right. So everyone's kind of been, so the liberal, all that gay, all the inclusiveness and all that stuff leads up to female doctor now. Yeah. Which is something that I've been hearing people talk about for a very long time. It's like, sure, why not get a female doctor?
Probably before our time it was talked about.
Probably.
It's such an old series. It's half a decade old.
Yeah.
Century, excuse me.
Yeah.
Not decade, century.
Yeah, half a century old.
A lot has changed since Doctor Who started.
Yes.
The world has changed a ton.
Many wars has happened since Doctor Who.
Political climates have risen and fallen. A lot.
A lot has happened.
In different parts of the world, it's a lot can change.
The USSR was a thing, and now it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't exist on the map anymore.
Yeah, that's that alone is just crazy.
Civil rights didn't happen.
Civil rights wasn't even a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was happening. Which you can argue.
It was bigger. It happened late 60s.
Yeah. By the way, Doctor Who started with a female writer.
Did it?
The idea of Doctor Who pretty much comes from a female. Mm-hmm. So who made Doctor Who? Pretty much not solely, but
one of the founders.
One of the founders of Doctor Who was a woman. Yeah. So the roots of Doctor Who is inclusive progressivism. Yeah. Which, regardless of your political opinion, that's the theme. That's just the fact of what it is.
It's a theme of it.
That's the fact of what Doctor Who is.
It's like how Star Wars, the theme of it is family.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the series is written about. It's a theme. It's a strong narrative.
And I think they do a good job at it. So with the addition of the female character, the whole internet has gone ablaze. Mm-hmm. We have what feels like half the fans being, yay, finally. Another half is not my doctor.
Is it because I feel like, well, like you talked about political leanings and all that, assuming because of the progressivism, it's attracted more people on the left. So is the other half who's unhappy, is it more simply the fact of it's breaking tradition? That's what I'd assume it would be.
That's a lot of it.
Because most people who are just not a fan of just change. I think that's what it feels like it might be.
That's
but
what a lot of it
looked
is.
into this.
I have looked into, so that's a lot of it. And I've been trying to talk to people about it and get, because I want to know, why are you mad about this? Is it tradition? Is it, so a lot of it's tradition. Man, this coming from me will shock a lot of people who know me, but I think it's actual sexism happening here. And I mean this, I actually mean this realistically, as I think actually people are saying the doctor was written to be a man, should stay a man. A woman cannot do the role as a doctor. Like, and those are the arguments I'm seeing a lot of.
Really?
To me, that is sexist.
That's shocking to me.
Right? And that for what Doctor Who is,
all about.
It's all about change, progressivism. Let's, be inclusive. Let's get everyone.
It has to be a mix of that and a mix of just the change as well.
Yeah, and a mix. No, I'm not saying it's all that, but that is a factor that I can't say doesn't exist.
You can't shake off. You cannot shake that off.
It's too big, and it's not. And it's not a very small. It's not like 10%. I think it might be 30 or more. 30% or more people. I think is that, which is crazy.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
It's a lot of people
for Doctor Who fans. Like that's a lot of people, and it's very interesting to see that. And man, I'm bringing this up in this because I think it's somewhat relevant. I'm noticing in the feminist movement, there's a divide. There's another divide happening right now of like the TERFs versus the
God, that word makes me laugh, though.
Yeah, the trans exclusionary radical feminists versus the liberal feminists.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. And this is another example of that, of the
people splitting hairs of
what
progressivism is.
Progressivism is.
Yeah.
And
when it's kind of meant to be like a blanket thing of just let's include everyone.
Well, progressivism is just change. Change is good.
Yeah.
That's the idea of progressivism. And that's such a broad definition. You're gonna get people
But people love
fractionating.
to split hairs more than ever now. But for something like this,
it's very interesting.
I would think there was going to be people who are going to be upset.
Yes.
That's a given.
Oh yeah,
people are upset every time there would be a change.
Yeah, I'm more scared.
But the amount of it is the weird part. That's what's weirding me out.
Yeah. So I
thought maybe like when David like the era of like when David Tennant took it over. I thought maybe like back then there'd be like, I get why the outcry would happen back then. But nowadays it's like, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Of it.
But just, I mean, the evidence is there. It's clear.
And it's not like people getting like this mad about it will change anything. They've made up their mind.
Yeah, no, it's happened already.
Yeah.
The next Doctor will be Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah. There's nothing that will change that.
No, that's not going to change. Yeah.
But the amount of like discourse over this is really weird.
It might change how long she runs for.
Yeah, that's that, but it's going to be her.
Every Doctor gets about 2 seasons. Yeah. Except for the Ninth Doctor. The Ninth Doctor only had 1, which is a very big point of contention in Doctor Who fans. It's just the show wasn't doing well, and they're just like, let's change it up quickly.
Because budget
reasons or whatever. Which sucks, because I like the Ninth. Chris Eccleston, I mean, he's a really good actor, a really good Doctor, but he only got a season. Anyways, my feelings on this is, we have a female Doctor, because canonically that can happen. It'd be more confusing for it never to happen.
Because they've talked about it.
Why would you mention it and not even do that? And then also, the show is half a century old, and you need change.
Yeah.
You don't want, like, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you don't want it to be the same. You're going to get bored.
Is that the whole point of the regeneration thing in the first place? To shake it up every other time?
Well, no, originally the point was the first Doctor was getting old and couldn't remember his lines.
The actor himself?
Yeah, the actor himself. I can't remember the name of the actor, which I'm sorry.
Yeah, people are getting mad about that shit.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. The first Doctor, he was starting to get old. He couldn't remember his lines, and for
the sake of the show.
Yeah. Well, before because he started when he was 55. Like,
he was pretty old.
He was already pretty old. Like, and that's not that. But I mean, he was already, was it 55 or 65? 55 or 65. Either way, he was not that old, but his brain still wasn't like great at the time. So he, even back when he started, he didn't really like remembering lines. A lot of it stuff was improv. A lot of the stuff was just, what's the idea of the show? Let's just go with it. But towards the end, he really just couldn't do it anymore. He was getting sick, couldn't do it anymore. So they're like, okay, what are we going to do? Let's get a new how are we going to get a new actor to play this? Well, let's do the regeneration thing so we can do a younger guy who's the second Doctor, one of my favorite
it'll
Doctor.
make sense in the context of the show.
Yeah, sure. Let's make it that way. So that was the point originally.
But then after that,
it started to be like, oh, wait, let's change is the thing. So let's just get new ones because
to keep this show fresh for everyone.
It makes sense. The show can now last forever.
So this is also going to sound like a weird thing coming from me as well. But has the Doctor always been just a white dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single time for 50 years?
Yep.
Has there been more people asking for a change of race or a change of gender? Which one do you think would have made people more upset? Like, what if they made the next Doctor a black man?
Instead of a woman.
No matter what age, just a black man.
Yeah, instead of a woman.
Yeah. Do you think more people would get upset?
I think less people would get upset.
Like, well, more, because I know, like, people who just want to start shit would spray a lot more people. Because those people exist.
I think less people would get upset because what I'm saying is...
So I'm seeing people legitimately upset about this.
Well, here's
not even like as a joker to fuck with people. They're actually upset about it.
And that's why I'm trying to figure out why. So I think less people be upset if it was a black man because the divide has nothing to do with... I think it more has to do with the sense that the Doctor as a character has the characteristics of a man, not the characteristics of a white person.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
They're masculine traits.
They're masculine traits, not white traits.
Yeah.
Or whatever that
even means. That's not even a thing, but whatever.
Whatever you think that means. That's what I think is going on in the minds of Whovians right now.
Yeah, like why? Man, people really. Yeah, this is splitting some goddamn hairs.
This really is, and I think it's important to talk about because it's such a bomb that has happened right now, and it's like one of my favorite shows.
Like, it wasn't this bad when they did it for Star Wars.
What do you mean?
Like when main characters are a woman and a black man?
Yeah.
Like there was dumb racist people who were mad about it. That's just dumb racist people.
There was dumb racist and dumb sexist people just being like, oh, it's a woman now.
They were the minority of just people being stupid. No one listened to them. No one cared.
And it was a minority. Like it was obviously the overwhelming amount of people was in support.
Yeah.
That was obvious. This one, it seems more 50-50.
And the people who were like, I don't really like it, they were just like, well, I wish it was the old people. Oh, well, I'll still watch it though.
Exactly. And I'm seeing some of that too with this one. Like I'm seeing like, oh, I wish it was a man, but who knows, they might be good.
I thought I would get more of that, not just like outright dislike or hatred of this.
Hashtag not my doctor. Like that's the thing. Like that's just like, whoa. So my thoughts on this are I'm excited.
Because it's new.
But I'm scared because it's new.
For the fan base or for the show?
Well, for the show. And for the fan base. This is my opinion on the show. My opinion on the fan base is I have no idea. Right
now, it's like in turmoil.
Yeah,
so
it's in chaos.
You can't really judge the fan base right now.
Yeah, the show though, since Capaldi's my doctor, I'm so sad to see him go.
Yeah, because your favy's leaving.
There's no one that could have made me.
Yeah.
There's no one that could have like been like, oh, cool, yay. I'm sad that my
That's the best we're feeling because it's like you wouldn't be this sad if you didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah,
it's that melancholy feeling of like this was so great. It's over. Damn it. It's over.
Yeah. We'll keep going though. And that's the thing. Doctor Who, it's a ride, and I will go along with the ride. It might be. I didn't like Matt Smith.
The one before him?
The youngest Doctor ever, who was 26 when he started.
That's super young.
So young.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, it's his favorite for whatever reason.
For various reasons, yeah.
But I think that was my least favorite time of Doctor Who was Matt Smith. Mm-hmm. Still great though. I still enjoyed the episodes. Dinosaurs on a space. The fact that dinosaurs on a spaceship exists.
It didn't ruin
hilarious.
The series for you because you're not an immature child.
No, exactly. Because David Tennant before that was my doctor. Because David Tennant
was doctor.
David Tennant is most people's doctor.
I feel like David Tennant kind of saved that series.
He's very. Oh yeah, totally. He's very good.
He was like a messiah that they needed. It feels like because
David Tennant's my second favorite.
Love David Tennant.
He's my second favorite. Like he's awesome. And then when he left,
other roles.
So when he left,
in general,
yeah, when he left, getting into Matt Smith, it was. I had the same feeling I'm feeling now of just like, oh man, I really like this doctor. All right, this is a weird choice. We never had this before. Yeah. Let's see what happens. That feeling I had when we got Matt Smith, the exact same feeling I'm feeling now, except instead of it being a young boy, it's a woman.
Yeah,
that's it. That's really it.
And how long until the new episodes? Like, so pretty much about a year and a half it would take for the new doctor to show up. Well, not show up, but I mean like have their series for themselves.
Next year.
Just next year, sometime next year.
Sometime next year, yeah. I assume. I don't think they're gonna.
Because Christmas time, will they do that?
Yeah, usually they're like right now they're filming for
in the Christmas episode. Do they show the new Doctor in that?
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to be because the Christmas special sometimes isn't the way they're doing it now. Usually, it's just what will happen is the last episode of the season will be the end of the Doctor, regeneration to the next Doctor, and then this Christmas episode will be the first episode with the Doctor, with the new Doctor. Or if it's no regeneration in between, the Christmas episode will just be a random. Last year's there was a random episode. It was just a random episode about a superhero.
Yeah,
that was it. So this is a special Christmas episode because it's a doctor, a very, very popular doctor, leaving behind a legacy and giving it to a very controversial figure. So it's like, this is a huge...
It's going to be a very weird Christmas episode.
It's going to be a very interesting Christmas episode.
It's going to be a very weird holiday season for fandoms when that stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's going to say a lot about how people react
it really is.
To the Christmas one. Because you'll know what people's true feelings are.
Yeah. So, you don't really watch Doctor Who that much, but what do you...
It's just weird from all the series of seeing like a radical change of like a gender of a character. This is the one that boggles my mind the most.
But the reaction or
the reaction itself?
Okay. Yeah.
I expected none of this whatsoever. Like, of all, like, because people make hot Tumblr jokes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you talked about, it was always about inclusiveness in a way.
Progressivism.
The old tired line of like all shapes and sizes, all people.
There was an episode in this last season that's literally talking about how capitalism is bad.
Really?
It's not even, it's so obvious about the fact that capitalism is bad. That's a whole episode.
Yeah.
And
like the evils of it.
Me as a conservative type, I was like, that's kind of your bad points, but good episode. It's sci-fi. It's Doctor Who. I'm not going to expect them.
You try to make a point, whether you agree with it or not. That's not.
Yeah, I'm not going to expect them to anytime make an episode of how the wage gap's a myth. I don't see that happening.
That'd be weird. Also,
right?
How do you like that entertaining in a sci-fi show?
They made. But you know what?
I'm underestimating them. If they wanted to.
The point I'm trying to make is they're not gonna make an episode talking about the other side's point of view.
Yeah,
that's not what Doctor Who is.
They're gonna say whatever they view, and that's kind of it.
Whatever,
which isn't always a.
Not always a bad thing, because they do it in a good way. They do it in a way that's not so. Look at us. We're right, and you're wrong.
They dress it up. Yeah. To make it interesting.
They even made a joke in the season about Trump, but all at once.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Well, but I don't like it.
That's too modern for me.
Well, me too. I don't like that it exists, but the way they did it, I don't mind. They were like,
Did they say his name?
I think they talked about the way that I think they talked about like.
Oh, they alluded to it instead.
Like there was like I think an alien was talking about like man, your leaders here are silly, and it's like wait till you go to America, our leader's a big orange guy.
That's better.
That was it. And it did mention it after.
That's a one-off line. That's fine.
Right, and it's like man, I wish you didn't make that joke, but. Whatever.
If you're gonna do it like that.
Yes.
Don't do the voice. Don't have a guy come out in tan orange skin with the wig.
Yeah. So
because that was tired before he was president.
Huh?
That joke of imitating him was tired before he was president.
It really was. Yeah. So who knows? I'm hoping it's good.
They're gonna talk about immigration next season.
Oh, they probably will.
I want to see that.
They probably will. Hopefully they do it.
It's going to be on the left side of it, or not. Who knows?
I'm scared. Oh yeah. So my fear,
because a lot of topics they still have not gotten to touch.
Yeah, my fear.
So I wonder what they will touch with a woman leading the helm. Will they talk about more women's issues?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is something I'd actually be looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it in a way. Although I am scared of them starting to try to
appeal to an audience.
Well, no, trying to be political when they don't have to.
I see.
All right.
Yeah.
Sometimes Doctor Who. Has to not when they don't need to. There you go. That's a better than have to, because Doctor Who sometimes will do things when they feel like they need to, right? Like they'll tackle issues,
comment on an issue or something.
Yeah, if they see this is an injustice that's happening that is obviously happening. Let's talk about it.
Let's call attention.
With the women's one, I'm afraid that they're going to tackle issues that don't need to be addressed.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to say what I think those issues are for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
If you want to yell at me, you know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a number of things that I can see them possibly spending too much time on.
Misfire on.
Yeah.
The
misfire and spend too much time on.
Yeah.
It may or may not happen. Who knows? Right?
Like, I think maybe that's also another reason people are upset about this.
That definitely is. I know that definitely is.
Because they're like paranoid about that happening.
And it's a valid thing to be paranoid about. That being said, it's Doctor Who.
Yeah, something like Doctor Who. It's like that's not really known for being like that.
What?
We're like, whatever's happening right now ruins the show.
Yeah,
like that, because that kind of paranoia of like, these modern liberals are gonna ruin my insert whatever media is like a dumb holdover from Gamergate bullshit that I'm so tired of seeing every time. It's like, oh, that writer, they got colored hair. They're gonna make this character gay.
Yeah.
That shit still happens.
It does.
It still happens.
It does, yeah.
And it's by like grown adults.
Well,
like people who are like a decade or two older than me.
Well,
I'm getting sick of that shit.
Well, we have.
That's why I was kind of upset to see like, why does this have to happen to Doctor Who?
Yeah.
They'd leave that shit alone, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It makes the world unhappy.
It does. So the point. So I think the point takeaway from
have the
this
staff talked about it.
The staff. I think they made one comment saying. I know they said something.
Like to respond to this.
I don't remember. Oh no, I know Jodie Whittaker did an interview, like a written interview that you can like read.
Like
I haven't read it. I have no idea what's in it.
That must be interesting.
That's all I know.
Because that pressure must. No matter if she was like a controversial person or not, the pressure of taking on this role must be immense.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
It must be horrifying.
Well, that's why I like when Peter Capaldi took it, because Peter Capaldi was the biggest Doctor Who fan growing up. Like,
yeah, he was a fanboy.
There are pictures of him cosplaying as.
I read the story of him. Like he would get fucking kicked out of class. He'd be busy writing fucking Doctor Who fan fictions in his journal.
Yeah,
he was insane.
Yeah, he was.
He's a kid you would make fun of nowadays.
Yeah.
But then he got the role.
Yeah, and he's the perfect person. If anyone should be the Doctor, it's Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked him so much.
In terms of just the passion for the role.
Yeah, because he embodied the Doctor. That's Matt Smith to me didn't embody the Doctor. Like I didn't look at Matt, like when I look at Matt Smith outside of Doctor Who, I see Matt Smith who happened to play Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I don't,
you
like,
see him
when
as
I see
the actor, not the character.
Yeah, when I see Peter Capaldi,
I totally can see where you're coming from.
When I see Peter Capaldi, it's like that's the freaking Doctor.
Yeah.
Like that's who that is.
Yeah.
And Jodie Whittaker, man, that's hard for anyone to do.
Especially with like this never been done as a female before.
Never been done as a female.
So when she does it, it's going to be based off of her. They're going to judge it off of her.
All female,
no matter how good or bad, it's going to be
all female doctors from the future. Because I know for a fact there's going to be more.
There has to be.
There has to be.
But after we're dead, there might be one or two.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
There might be an alien one in like 50 years.
Or like, well, they're all humanoid, so
they might change it when we're dead. When we're dead. When we're dead.
I'm thinking the one after this will probably be black.
I would like to see a different race.
Yeah, sure.
Like
why not?
Set it in a different, like the base of like operations. Set it in a different country.
Yeah.
Just shake it up like
That'd
that.
Be cool. Yeah.
Set it in Texas.
Rad.
Imagine a doctor with like a southern accent.
An American accent doctor.
Like the most American, like they have a belt buckle instead.
Yeah, see, something like that like would be
no cape, but just a big like cowboy hat.
Well, Peter Capaldi was the first doctor that's not British. He's Scottish.
Yeah, which that's actually still is a significant change.
That was a big deal too.
That's a big change.
Yeah,
because people kind of think everything on that island is like one and the same.
Yeah,
and if you say that, they will kill you.
Three
in the
different countries over there.
Like, don't even bring up Wales.
Yeah,
jeez, like it's complicated. It's not that simple.
No,
which even bringing it to another country was still kind of I'm surprised there wasn't like a shit over that too. Because that's kind of an old historic rivalry between those two countries.
Yeah,
kind of still bitter about that. Some people are.
All right, so we spent way more time on Doctor than I expected to. So talk about your Evo thing.
I'll talk about it. Evolution 2017, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, was this weekend, and it was pretty great. The tournaments, only ones I missed Fridays, so I missed BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, which BlazBlue, I don't care too much about, but Guilty Gear, I was sad that I got to miss that. I'll watch the VODs later. I caught the Injustice 2 and our Marvel stuff on Saturday. Injustice 2 was neat because this always happens with fighting games competitive games in general, where there's always a meta. And usually it's fun when it happens where someone will come with a character or a way of playing that will kind of make people think, wait, is this character good or not? Because what happened is Injustice 2, while it still is it's a pretty new fighting game, the top tier is really well defined, where it's like, it is for sure, it is Black Adam sits on top, like firmly on top, which after Evo, they said they wanted to do some balances. It is Black Adam, it is Aquaman, Batman, Superman, and who else? It's like one more person that are like in like, this is the best characters in the game. But a guy got second place as the Flash, who everyone always considered like a mid-tier character. So it's not going to make him a better character or anything. It's just the player was just insane. He's a really good player. It's always fun to see an upset like that. But the real highlight was the Sunday of Evo, which was when we're recording this yesterday. They had the Smash 4 tournament, which I watched the last round of, the last like setup for, and then the Street Fighter 5 tournament. The Smash 4 tournament was kind of a blast to watch, mainly because I know people love to hate on Zero, who won, or people call him Scarfulu, big dude. And it was a weird thing where no matter what happened in that finals game, people are going to be mad in the Smash community because people hate Bayonetta still, but she's in the game and her balance with it. But people also love hating on Zero. And the way Zero lost, I can kind of get why he got mad because he lost on some weird off-screen bullshit. So he was very emotional after that, and he deleted his Twitter for a little bit because he's kind of a sore loser. He's one of those kinds of players who needs a coach to help him keep his emotions in check, which at EVO, I get because that main stage, people might not know who never watched EVO before. EVO's a big goddamn deal.
Yeah,
it's in Vegas, and they have the stage has been upgraded the past few years. It is it's in a stadium.
It's crazy. It's funny because
EVO's been around for 15 years. It's 15 years.
I know it exists, and I see videos and pictures of it all the time.
People talk about
that's crazy when I see that, right? And then, but then afterwards, it's like, okay, whatever. I don't stop and think about like, oh, that's huge.
It's really big.
It's crazy.
And like tournament nerves are already a bad thing enough. EVO's like the ultimate. It is the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
Like the average, like even for like a game like, oh god, Melee had some numbers. And it's well documented how much I do not like competitive Melee.
No.
And I dislike it fully.
You're not a fan.
And EVO, again, proved me right this year, where top 8 was the same fucking people.
Wow.
Top 8 of Melee is the same every year.
Interesting.
These same 8 people.
That's really boring.
Because the meta is that stale.
Yeah.
The skill ceiling for that game...
Can I just get a different game? Like, just get that game out of there? Or do enough people watch it?
The viewer base got it in. Like, got it in last year. And I was like, fuck.
Man.
It got main stage. And it pulls in tons of viewers.
I believe it, but it's like...
It got more than like Street Fighter 5 at some point.
That's hilarious.
At peak hours.
That's hilarious.
Because it was like, no tournaments were up. Melee's up. Everyone remembers Melee. Everyone goes to go watch it. Melee is gigantic.
Yeah.
But it's gonna peter out soon.
It has to, right?
At least it's gonna start in a couple... I don't know, man. Because that game, it's built on exploits to make it competitive. That is like, you can't fight me on that. The game is built on exploits to make it competitive. So because of that, the skill ceiling and inputs, it's pretty high for it to do it.
It takes a very long time to learn. It does take
skill to do high level Melee. I will not fight people on that. It does take some good skill.
It's not an easy thing.
But the people who have reached that ceiling aren't going to go anywhere. They still play the game all the time.
Yeah.
And
because you kind of have to keep doing it.
There is no underdog, like young guy who's taking them out. None. Never even no, there's no one that's like, oh, we might do it. Never.
Wow.
That hasn't happened. And that, I don't think will happen, honestly. Unless some of these guys retire, Melee's going to be goddamn stale every year. Same shit every year. And that sucks. But that pulled in big numbers. But Smash 4, they patched it at some point, so there was balance changes, so it's more interesting to watch. It's slower. You're not having people like fly across the screen. Like people aren't doing crazy shit, but it's still high level play that's fun to watch. But watching Zero might go back to Melee. He talked about it before when he got upset when he lost Evo a couple years ago. It's like, I'm just go quit and go back to Melee. Which I'm like, I'd rather have someone new change up the fucking Melee meta.
Sure.
The Smash 4 was a good time to watch. Watching ESPN was bad because that's when I had to watch those stupid ads. And then Street Fighter 5, I'm not a big fan of 5, honestly. The current season of Street Fighter 5 is pretty stale to watch.
I've been hearing a lot of mixed.
Even in the Street Fighter community, there's been some discontent with it for sure.
Yeah, I'm not in this community.
It is documented. People are not happy with 5.
I see it. Yeah,
even still. But it's still, Evo was great, and the big thing this year, there was 2 players that people were looking at. It was Takedo, a Japanese player who has been trying to win Evo for Street Fighter for about a decade, and he got really close a couple years ago. And the other was I think it kept changing the number. He's either 18 or 19. He's a young man by the name of Punk.
Great name.
He is a monster because in the tournament brackets, it's always the way Street Fighter works. It's like you win 2 rounds and you win the match. So it's like whoever wins three matches wins the whole set. Up until the final match, because he was top 32, but then they broadcast top 8 and then the final match. From top 8. I think even from top 8 until the grand final match, which he got to, he didn't lose a single match. He lost a couple rounds. It was clean, like, okay, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Nobody could win a match against him. And he's like 18 to 19. That kid's a monster. And he only started playing competitive Street Fighter for about a year.
Wow.
Like going to tournaments.
That's crazy.
We'll know, I hope, because unfortunately he did lose to Takedo, who I was rooting for, because I've been rooting him for a long time. But that final set between those two, because the way it works with Evo, well, with Street Fighter, there's winners brackets and losers brackets. Winner, it's a bracket system. They go to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Takedo got knocked into losers, but he managed to fight and win beat every single person to get to be the winner of losers brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to fight Punk, who was the winner. And the only way you have a chance of winning from losers is if you win your set, which resets the bracket. So then you have to win again to win the whole thing.
Dang.
And he did that clean.
Wow.
6-0.
That's crazy.
And it was kind of sad in a way because Takedo kind of fucked with, you could see like he was fucking with him big time. Like he did a taunt combo to beat him after a stun.
That's so good.
And people like taunting and stuff like that in games, in fighting games, that really fucks with some people.
Yeah.
That gets in your head.
Yeah. That's the point of it.
The best, no one thought he was going to do it. Akuma has really like an infamous, his super move. Nobody thought he would pull it off in grand finals. But once he did it, everyone's like, this match is over. Because once he pulled it off, like, fuck, this set is over. And it was totally over. But I felt so bad for Punk. Because he's young.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he was so
chance.
close to winning that trophy. He was so fucking close.
Dang.
I hope he doesn't get discouraged. I want to see him come back because he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
People like, oh, he only did so well because his character that he picked happened to be good this season. It's like, no, he's just really good at basic Street Fighter fundamentals. I don't want him to quit. Because that happens to people. They quit. And I don't want him to leave. But seeing Takedo win and him just going in like a broken English, like, fighting games are good. And everyone's like, yeah, fighting games are good. Like, because like, yeah, fuck yeah, fighting games are the best.
That's so great.
And that shit was awesome. But the other thing that came out of Evo, all those great matches, great setups, fun things going on, were announcements.
Okay.
Fighting game, because so many fighting games are there. Like Evo actually has other things besides fighting games going on at it. They're just not streamed like on the big things.
Mm-hmm.
But the announcement that they had, except for Capcom, which was the worst one by coincidence, well, for Street Fighter, for Arc System Works, who does BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, and other games, they said, hey, we're doing a crossover BlazBlue game. So it's going to be BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena,
oh man,
Under Night In Birth,
I don't even know,
and Ruby Rose from Ruby.
Huh.
Yeah.
That I
because Ruby has video games.
Yeah, I know. That's
and I was like, Arxis is doing this.
That makes sense.
I was like, this is kind of an interesting thing. The game doesn't look super hot because the sprites are just all their sprites, but they're from different art styles.
So it keeps all the Ruby.
No,
art?
the only character that is going to be from Ruby is just going to be Ruby Rose.
Okay,
like that's their special like guest character, which fighting games do have. I was like, that's kind of an interesting pick.
Yeah,
but the game like visually it doesn't look good.
Dang.
Because it looks like Mugen. Because the sprites are from different games. So the shading and the art style and the proportions are kind of weird, but
they don't match.
It could be cool. I don't like BlazBlue, but it could be cool.
You don't like BlazBlue?
No, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
I was been a Guilty Gear guy.
Got it.
Which they never really got Guilty Gear announcement this year, but that's fine. The new game just came out. Then for Saturday they showed off there was a fighting game that was shown off that we believe maybe was a joke by Street Fighter had like a spin-off series called the Street Fighter EX series, made by a different company called Arika. And there's characters in there that I've wanted in Street Fighter games for a long time, but they couldn't get because licensing, they didn't own them. And they showed off, they said the game doesn't have like an official title. It's like a weird broken English title because it's not an official title. But I'm just calling it EX Arika. That game looks hot. That game looks great. And the best part about it, people love a character called Skull-O-Mania. Lewis, I recommend you look up the character Skull-O-Mania.
Skull-O-Mania?
Yeah.
All right. Everyone
that
listening
character
at home.
Of any character from Street Fighter EX, for some reason, that one, over time, people thought he was cooler the longer time went on. Like, people didn't really give a shit about him when EX came out. But,
I've seen this boy.
The fact that you know who he is weird.
Yeah.
Like, Skull-O-Mania has gotten big over time. I was very happy to see my man Skull-O-Mania come back. So we're gonna get Skull-O-Mania in HD, and it's fun.
That's cool.
But Arika's coming back. I hope they fix some of the fighting systems, like they make the fighting systems less gimmicky, because that's what kind of the problem with the EX series was. It was like a cool like attack system, but we'll see where this goes. They're announcing they're gonna have like they might have like a beta for it soon. And then after that, they announced like for Bandai Namco during the Tekken finals, which were amazing, and Eris did a really good job of commentating. They announced for one, because Bandai Namco is publishing the Dragon Ball Fighters game, which it looks amazing. I
know. We've already talked about this.
But they announced they announced Trunks beforehand, but we got to see gameplay of him. He looks really, really good. But then the other thing was the guy who runs Tekken. He came out and was like, you guys would probably be really mad if we just walked off stage right now, right? And they showed a trailer, and there's a new character for Tekken 7. It's going to be in December. It is the villain of King of Fighters, Geese Howard.
Huh.
He looks like the hottest shit. Akuma was like, whoa, holy shit, Akuma, and he's really good. Fucking Geese. So we have like the best villains in fighting game series all in one game now.
That's crazy.
We have Geese, Heihachi, and Akuma. That is the best shit. I am living in my fantasies.
Video games are back, baby.
This is like when...
Honestly, this
brings me
year...
back to like remembering like, hey, you know who's in Brawl? Snake and Sonic.
Yeah.
Like that kind of fantasy dumb like kindergarten shit.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. I am so happy Geese is in.
Dude, this year has...
I'm gonna be waiting a long time, but fuck, Geese is gonna be in 3D, which is weird.
Yeah.
Geese in 3D is weird.
This whole year has been like...
There was some good...
Video games are back.
There's been some good shit this year.
Like people have... like I feel like...
Announcements and releases. There's been some cool shit.
You know what it is? I think it's just like our generation, right?
They're making the shit that we like.
Yeah, because
that's why cartoons are so good right now.
They've grown up.
Yeah.
And
the nerdy people like us
in the industry now.
Who are older than us are making the shows.
So great.
That's why cartoons are so great right now. Because they're being made by those nerds.
That's so crazy, man.
Well, think about it. Pendleton Ward, who made Adventure Time, was like the biggest nerd of all time.
Yeah.
And he made Adventure Time, which is based off his D&D adventures when he was young. It's a cool time to be alive for video games. Even like the flukes, like Mass Effect Andromeda, they don't ruin the year.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nier Automata exists.
Yeah, Nier Automata exists, and Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
2 Sonic games.
The Switch exists.
Just a Switch, and everything.
The new Sonic game comes out like in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking ready.
Yeah.
I forgot, and I reminded myself, oh yeah, I'm actually really hyped for that game. I forgot how excited I was.
Me too. It's
gonna be a fun.
I obviously haven't gotten a Switch, and I won't be getting one anytime soon.
But you can play it beforehand.
It's on PC.
Yeah, it's gonna be on PC.
I have a controller now, so
maybe not Vita, unfortunately for you.
Yeah,
Vita.
whatever. I have a computer.
But that Geese announcement was fucking awesome. Nothing of injustice really, other than just like we're gonna patch the game, change systems around, which is great because NetherRealm does a great job of keeping their games always like being updated, like constantly. And then for Sunday, Capcom announced, it leaked before, they announced Abigail, who was just a boss from Final Fight 1, and he looks dumb. He just looks dumb.
I'm so sorry.
I don't like him, but whatever. In season 3, I'll get Q, and then I'll be happy.
Okay.
But he didn't look that great. Which is weird how the Capcom... Oh yeah, and then I forgot. How did I forget? For the new Marvel game, which... When they showed at EVO, it looks better. Like the game looks visually more interesting. Like it looks improved.
Okay.
They showed off Gamora, which wasn't an announcement. It was in the trailers, but whatever. Gamora looks okay. But then this might be confirmed. The leaks are totally real. They showed Jeddah from Darkstalkers.
Huh.
Who was like, okay, if Jeddah's in, that leak's probably real, which is great because I like Jeddah. But fuck, that list is going to be as boring as I thought it was going to be. No mutants.
I'm sorry.
But if that happens, that's true.
Yeah.
That means no Wolverine, no Magneto. That's crazy.
That is still crazy.
No Wolverine, no Magneto?
Yeah.
It's gonna be sad not having that in.
Yeah. All right.
And then another thing I want to say is like only nitpick I have with Jeddah is that his thing is he has blood magic, but because it's T, even though Dark Picture was T, they made like it's a purple goop. But like it's kind of a shame. But maybe Marvel will be fixed before it comes out very soon.
Very
It's
soon.
coming out like in a couple months.
Cool.
So hopefully the hate for Marvel that even I've given it shit for.
Yes.
I hope it gets fixed. I don't want Marvel to be bad.
Yeah, I
want
know.
Marvel to be good.
Yeah.
But fighting games were great this year. EVO was a good time. I would love to go next year.
Cool.
I'd love to go out to Vegas next year.
All right.
But yeah, the weekend with games were pretty good this week.
Yeah. So I want to talk about before we go.
Okay. What's your thing? I have one more thing.
Yeah, you go, and then we'll end on
one more
my
thing.
My thing's
D23
quick.
was this weekend, which I'd also like to go to one of these days. The big Disney Expo.
Yeah, I know. I knew about it.
You should go with me one of these days.
I should.
Because you're more into Disney stuff than I am. I'm into their animated shows and their other things more than their movies.
Yes. All right, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts then.
Fuck yeah, Kingdom Hearts. Okay, cool shit happened. Tetsuya Nomura,
Toy Story,
known liar,
kidding.
Came out on stage like, hey, yo guys, what's up? You want to go see new shit for Kingdom Hearts? Check that shit out. And we got a 5-minute gameplay trailer of the new world for Toy Story. Which people were complaining this is out of left field. It is not.
I just saw
There's found models from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh.
They're going to be summons. They just didn't have the time.
Cool. I saw
Nomura wanted them to be it for a long time.
I just saw a picture. I guess there's a Keyblade that's the handle.
Yes.
The handle
is Buzz's ship.
It's a cactus and it has a cowboy hat on the tip.
Yes, it is awesome.
I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game because I'm a horrible bastard.
All the Keyblades are kind of like that. They're designed that way to be themed after like a character or a world. And they're pretty well. That's why people make their own Keyblades all the time for fan stuff. there's a PS4 playable for you. There is a way for you to catch up.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah. Or should I do what Alonso did and just like watch it?
I'm going to be redoing.
That's what he did.
I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I'm pretty behind on some games. If you want, I'm going to be playing them all pretty soon. I could answer some questions for you.
You know what? I probably won't because I still don't have a PS4. It's not like I'm going to be getting Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's not coming to the Xbox or PC or anything.
So there's no point for me. Like that's the only thing.
But the other thing they announced was that they showed some cool things gameplay where it was transforming keyblades, which that's never been done before, where they turn into hammers and rocket launchers.
Interesting.
In mid-combat. Oh, you can have up to 5 party members, which is unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
It was always just Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and you sub one of those out for whatever world's like character you're in. Like, say like you went to Mulan, like Mulan's the world, you sub out like Donald or Goofy for Mulan.
Okay.
But now they showed in gameplay, you have both Woody and Buzz fighting with you.
Cool.
But I'm really dying to have it dubbed because I hope it's Tim Allen. Because I want to hear him go Sora.
Oh, wow.
And talk about like the darkness and nobodies and heartless.
That's it.
But as Tim Allen.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
I want it to be a thing because that shit's like hearing they didn't get Billy Crystal for Hades, but the guy sounds really close. He sounded great talking about like heartless shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. But they announced the release date 2018. I want to be real, but then I'll remind everybody, Persona 5, winter 2014. Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy, it wasn't called 15, it was called 13. No. Some weird bullshit. Coming out 2007.
Yeah.
Don't hold Final Fantasy to release. Don't hold Square to release dates.
No.
I'd love it to be real because the game.
It looks like it's getting there.
It's been pretty well into development now.
Yeah.
I want it to be real. Temper your expectations.
Hey man, do you guys want this game to be good and take a long time, or bad and release
They're doing it like Nintendo, where when it's done, it's done. When it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
I just wonder.
No day one patches.
I'm just curious. Will this game be the last one?
Mm.
There are like 12 or 15 Final Fantasy games. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts games like they could pull from.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just going to stop here?
It's crazy.
Could they? I don't know.
All right, so I want to talk about real quick Call of Duty, and then
wait, more?
Yeah. So a trailer was leaked this week for World War II Zombies mode, and it looks real good. It looks like an actual horror game. Like, remember, this is the same developers that made Dead Space.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
So
wait, Dead Space 3 or Dead Space 1?
1.
Interesting. That's now I care.
Yeah,
because I love Dead Space 1.
Yeah, and also Call of Duty has been every day for the last couple of days been releasing who's going to play the voices of, or like who's going to play the characters for the mode for zombies, because it's still zombies. It's still the 4-player.
Is it still a horde kind of?
Yeah, still horde. It's I assume.
Yeah.
But that's not, the horde thing isn't confirmed, but like the 4 characters for sure is. One of them, the actor, is David Tennant.
Really?
David Tennant's going to be one of the characters in this.
That's a crazy pull.
So we got David Tennant playing a character in a horror game developed by Sledgehammer.
That's weird. That's really out of this world.
Right?
Now I want to know, because they'll talk about it, how did he get in this goddamn role?
I have no idea.
Like David Tennant, like I'm not like downplaying like
huge
being in a COD game, because COD games are pretty big.
Well, I mean, they got Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
they got
it's not like a, oh, you're in a video game. It's not, because that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
But it's like, what were you doing that you found time to do this?
Yeah.
Like, do you like video games?
Do you like Call of Duty?
Does he like video games?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about David Tennant. I'm sure there's a lot of fans that listen.
Maybe he's a secret, like he's a big Dota 2 player. I don't fucking know.
That'd be great. Yeah,
stranger things have happened.
So the leak trailer
cool,
came out. I think the official trailer comes out tomorrow, Tuesday, as of listening.
You get to hear him say, "I'm reloading." Think about that, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, officially the trailer comes out tomorrow, but it was already leaked last week, and I saw it because it's obviously it's not the done trailer. Like it wasn't completely done.
It's like in production, but it's pretty much the
it looked done to me. Yeah. I honestly think they're kind of lying. I think they're just gonna add like a thing at the beginning and end real quick.
But still, it's probably like it's just a company thing. It's like it's not fully released. Don't.
Yeah.
It's a.
Don't judge
us in the final product.
Yeah, it actually wasn't easy to find, because even though I saw the news,
leak stuff isn't always easy to find. Even
Call of Duty, so like,
even when it's like big news like that, something is taken down.
Like an hour after it got leaked, I tried to find it, and it took me like a good amount of time to try to figure out where it was.
With leaks. I
had to keep refreshing on like
Twitter.
YouTube, like today.
Yeah.
You know, like uploaded it like in the last hour, and just keep refreshing. Yeah. And then the first one, I was like, all right, watch.
Just go before it gets taken down.
Yeah. Because I know it did. Okay.
That's cool though.
So yeah, it looks rad. It looks to me like they're going to be they're going to be actual zombies. I'm hoping they're going to keep with what kind of like Treyarch zombies,
the sci-fi kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, not even the sci. It's the conspiracy thing because it looks like this is.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean.
It looks like this is based on like the little teasers we've gotten to get the storyline because Call of Duty likes to do weird. Teasers like
their teasers are very
cryptic and underrated in my opinion because they're actually really fun.
They put more work than some of the stories that they've made deserve.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's really weird, but it looks like it's going to be some like. The Nazis or something wanted to create super soldiers. Experiments gone wrong.
Yeah,
that classic Nazi zombie thing.
Yeah,
and it's
just write a story about Nazis.
Yeah,
because they did do all kinds of weird shit.
Exactly. So, and that's what this looks like. And I hope they don't put magic in because because that's kind of
Treyarch had to escalate to get to there.
Yeah, not really, not by much.
Well. All they really had, at least in the first map that they ever made, was just the power-ups.
Well, the problem with Treyarch Zombies is that Activision didn't want to do the Nazi thing anymore, which is surprising how this game... The fact that Call of Duty World War II is going to exist is very interesting to me. Because I was under the impression that the reason that they stopped doing this is because ESRB Germany wouldn't allow... Nazi related imagery.
They were just tired of having to remove stuff and
so
cutting costs or something maybe.
Who knows what's going to happen with this? All I know is that the multiplayer has female soldiers and there are no swastikas in this game.
At all?
Nope.
Not
all
even
iron crosses.
But it's in World War II.
Those two
are they even going to say Nazi out loud at this point?
Right?
It's a World War II. It's about fighting the Nazis and oh man, this is
and they're in a weird spot. Like I understand both sides of this argument. One of like historically, you gotta say these things, but I also understand. Hey, this is a game that has a large market in Germany, and from a business perspective, it makes no sense. To not release it there.
Yeah, and that's very Activision kind of thing.
So it's just like it is what it is. It's Call of Duty. I just had an argument with someone about Call of Duty, which I'm always arguing. I'm always defending Call of Duty.
You're always defending Call of Duty. That's
and I don't want to, but I feel like people give it.
It gets too much hate.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were saying.
Well, now
it was the classic argument of, man, I'm getting like I hated this Call of Duty because they didn't change, but I want them to change, but I like Modern Warfare 1, but I want them to do something different because I'm bored of it. It's like this is the classic Call of Duty argument of just like what do you want? You can't have the old game that changes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. You have, and that's not what Call of Duty like. And they were saying like,
I want game development works.
It's not how games work in general, but Call of Duty is a very interesting thing where it's just like, that's just what Call of Duty is. Like, if you want another game, play another game,
and those exist.
And man, I don't like saying this. Like, I don't like saying that because it feels like I'm defending Call of Duty for what they're doing. I'm not. I wish they wouldn't do the same Call of Duty formula.
They're a victim of the industry more than anything.
But it's just like, I understand. I realistically have to understand that they will never change.
Not drastically. They can't.
Not drastically.
They just can't.
It's not going to happen. So there's no reason for me to hate on them for doing it.
For working in their like kind of confined space.
Yeah. So
the best they can.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. And then also I want to mention before we go, Elo Talk, like Elo Chat, their podcast, they just uploaded today interview with a bunch of Final Fantasy YouTubers. Mm-hmm. And I edited it and it took me like 6 hours to edit. So if you
how long is that podcast?
Like 2 hours.
That could be cool.
So go listen to it, please. I spent a lot of time working on this one, and it's actually doing surprisingly.
I wish you said you didn't. Like don't listen
to it. No.
Like I hate it.
Yeah. So go to elotalk.com, go to the Elo Chat podcast, and check it out, the newest episode, because it's good. And
because you edited it.
I worked well. I edited a lot of them, but this one specifically is the longest. It's never taken me more than 3 hours to edit a podcast. This one took me like double that.
Damn. Was it just because of just
weird? Because everyone records locally. There are 4 people on this. Everyone records locally, and there's a master, right? That Ian recorded the whole everyone at the same time. Yeah. So everything's recording at a different clock speed. So things random throughout will get out of time. Even if you start them at the same time, they'll end at different times. That's one thing. 2, the master kept cutting in and out. So I had to cut the master, figure out where we were in the conversation, and then splice it back to where it started. And that alone was hard because it was already out of time.
Yeah.
So just getting everything in time to make it sound like a conversation. I'm sure there's errors in there. If there's errors, it's my fault. But it's like 2 hours of a podcast. I'm not going to skim through the whole thing and like every second be like, oh, that sounds bad. It's just
it's just the nature of podcasts.
Not getting paid for this, man. Elo Talk's a volunteer thing. So go check it out because we work hard to make things good for free.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's what content creation is. That's what content creation on the internet is.
Yeah, you just work to do a cool thing.
Yeah, so this is the last episode. My name is Lewis.
I'm Andres. Podcast introduction late because we're cool.
Yeah, all right, let's start the podcast now.
Bye-bye.